ASOTU, they've created a culture that the people are the drivers of this industry.
Everybody here at ASOTU is a progressive, forward thinker that wants to live exactly what they're preaching as well. I've never seen anything like that in the industry.
The people at this function, they're the top 5%ers, but everything still revolves around the relationship and around people. Do you agree?
This is about the soul of the industry because this is about the people.
Well, today, when they did the vehicles for change, I cried. I ugly cried. It was a little bit, but it's incredible.
I think more people need to be aware of this event. This has been a fantastic event, not only for social media influencers and speakers and vendors.
I've been to quite a few shows. This by far has been the most information I've gotten, the most education I've gotten to improve myself to make our product better.
Oh, snap. You ready for ASOTU?
I'm fired up.
I know it. Look, this is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. This is Kyle Mountsier. Today we're talking about Ford slashing guidance, EVs growing to a quarter, and Waymo building their own little expansion out there.
Hey.
Yo, that trailer, if you're just listening on the show, we just played an ASOTU trailer, and person after person after person talking about what they learned, how they went back and it made a difference, and the fact that the relationships and the people stayed at the center. One woman said, she's like, I ugly cried. That was when we gave away the car. We're giving away 3 cars this year. We're going to triple down on the ugly crying.
It's
Next
so
year,
good.
we might be branded tissue boxes in the middle of the tables. But how much fun is it going to be to connect the industry and the most progressive tech and strategies and executions with keeping people at the center? How excited.
It's unbelievable. And when you think about I made a post on LinkedIn last night. 2 years ago, Dan Bannister in a panel dropped that he has a 91% retention rate in service. Last year, Nathan Hollenbeck drops, I implemented Salesforce Marketing Cloud in a dealer group. And then this year,
ask me how, right?
Ask me how. This year, I already know of like multiple stats and data points of like the things that would make you go, nah, you're kidding me.
Who was it that said they're going to release a data point on stage? Oh, you were telling me about this. And
Ryan Rorman and Jeremy Nowling are going to drop one that Jeremy was on a phone with another dealer earlier that day. And the other dealer was saying, you must be crazy. There's no way that could actually happen in a dealership. So,
oh my gosh. Look, if you don't know it, it's all going down on Tuesday. It's Tuesday, a week from today.
What?
No, is today Wednesday? Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
A week from today is ASOTU. Yay. The welcome reception will start a week from today. Still not too late to get your tickets. Thank you to our friends at Reynolds and Gubagoo for being our presenting sponsor this year, having a vision for it way before we had a speaker list or even a design aesthetic. Get your tickets. Go to ASOTUcon.com. If you're at a dealer group and like, the leadership doesn't want to like foot the expense or isn't sure about the event, they don't know about it, just send Kyle or myself a DM. We'll make sure that we get you there and to join the hundreds of other dealers and hundreds of industry partners that are going to be converging in Hanover, Maryland in just a week from today. Let's talk about some
that guy saying converge in a sentence. Come on,
converge.
Let's talk about the nose. Let's do it.
Part of the vernacular now. Well, Ford is bracing for a bumpy ride in 2025 after revealing a steep Q1 net income drop, pulling forward its year. They're pulling completely its full year earnings forecast, like a lot of the other automakers. Wow. Mounting tariff costs and factory downtime from SUV redesigns are weighing heavily on the automaker's performance as well. With more uncertainty ahead, net income fell, get this, 65% to $471 million. Ford expects 2025 tariffs to cut profits by $1.5 billion, despite $1 billion in planned offsets they already have. The CFO says Q1 tariffs cost more than $200 million, mitigated partly by bonded carrier routes through Canada. Ford Pro commercial division earned $1.3 billion, which is still down big, 56%. The Model E lost $849 million. That's the department that the division that does all the electric vehicles lost $849 million. CEO Jim Farley said, they lost that money despite a 15% increase in EV sales. CEO Jim Farley said, quote, we're strengthening our underlying business with significantly better quality and our third straight quarter of year-over-year cost improvement, excluding the tariffs. So he's saying we're cutting costs. You take the tariffs out of the equation. We're actually making a lot of progress for 3 quarters in a row.
Yeah, I mean, this is still an unfolding story, and I think we're going to have a lot of automakers kind of looking historically and going, what was the actual impact? And some things that maybe didn't hit the retail ecosystem in Q1 hit the wholesale ecosystem, right? So you think about wholesale versus retail, how dealers were balancing that, and OEMs were balancing that in the consumer-facing sales. But when you look at like, what are we wholesaling? How is it impacting our costs? It's clear that, it looks like at least that Ford was hit by it, especially because they're saying that they cut costs from OpEx already. I still think, the fact that a whole segment is just losing, thousands of dollars per car, they got to figure that out soon, because I don't think investors are going to be hang on that long for this startup mentality of the EV sector.
It's funny. I feel it's a little closer to the brand now that I own a Ford. It's not the first Ford I've ever owned. Our whole commercial fleet, my reconditioning business, was Ford's. But I think Ford has shown, and Jim Farley has shown, a commitment to running a more efficient business. And this started during the COVID era. And I think that's continuing on. And I think those practices, they will figure out how to handle the tariffs. The market will figure out how to absorb it. I think a lot of the tariffs will go away eventually, per our friend Senator Bernie Moreno. And I think they'll be left with a just soundly more efficient operating business, which is what happens during times of struggle, right? Your business becomes
you're
efficient.
Forced to go there. Yep.
So speaking of forced to go there,
that's a cheeky little segue, Paul. That's
anymore.
A cheeky little segue.
Thank you. Good try. Electrified vehicles accounted for nearly 1 in 4, 25% of new car sales in Q1. That says hybrids leading the growth and Tesla's dominance continuing to go down. Buyers are moving fast, whether driven by rebates, tariffs, or just better options now. EV sales hit 750 million in Q1, up almost 30% year over year.
750,000, not million.
Sorry.
1,000.
I mean, there'd be some people doing cartwheels if we were at 750 million. 750,000 up in Q1. This is up 30% just about year over year, with total electrified market share reaching 24.4%. So total electric vehicle market share is almost 1/4. Hybrids up 44.1%, capturing 13.3% of all new car sales, largely thanks to our friends at Toyota, Honda, Ford, Lexus, and Kia, but Toyota being the front runner there, who together own 97% of the segment in just those 6 brands.
Just the hybrids, yeah. Wow.
Tesla's share dipped to 44.2%, while non-Teslas jumped 47%. Florida EV sales are up 42.5%. Texas up 37.1%. Here's a quote from Recurrent's Liz Najman, says, a significant part of it is due to automakers tapping into what drivers actually want. The 2025 lineup offers 71 unique models, up from 54 in 2024, with improved specs options for every lifestyle. So the battery electric vehicles and the partial, what do you call them? So a vehicle with a battery in it. Part of the drivetrain.
Hybrids are accounting for a lot of this growth, obviously thanks to some of these automakers that have leaned into that as a larger portion of their segment. Brands like Toyota, Hyundai, and Kia basically making their entire fleet hybrid over the last few years, all except for a few vehicles. Totally changes that. That's part of the 71 unique models that are offered as electrified, up from 54. That's still a very, very small portion of the overall segment. It's surprising to me that the overall market is 25% when you've got hundreds of unique models across all automakers. But this is just like another, hey, don't get left in the dust. I've seen, if you've been following Jimmy Douglas, he's been posting a lot about like some of the things that dealers are doing to educate their people, educate their buyers on exactly what an electrified, so whether that be EV or hybrid or PHEV vehicle is. And I think that some of this just comes down to education and the availability. And shoot, they're fun to drive.
They're tons of fun. I mean, the full electric ones are super fun to drive. You have a hybrid.
Yeah.
Does the hybrid have more power? Like you
No.
get more zip out of that? No,
No,
it's about the same.
don't. Yeah, because startup is primarily, well, it's not like
It doesn't have the electric motor. No, it doesn't have the electric
that-
motors on the wheels. That's what gives you the zip.
exactly.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, look, just a couple years ago, it was such a small percentage overall. And even you look at full battery, Tesla, what was Tesla's market share like 3 years ago? Was like 80+%. Probably.
Yes, of the EV market,
Yeah.
Specifically of the EV
full
market,
EV, full battery EV. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously winds are changing, but consumers are voting with what they buy, affordability, options, features. It's all starting to go there. And I think we're just well on our way to a future of just mixed drivetrain options.
Yep.
Which is, if you remember from the beginning, what a lot of the rational minds were saying. And here we are.
Not us. We would have never said that. Oh, that's
we never have an opinion on anything. Thanks.
Yeah.
Speaking of having opinions,
Yes.
Kyle's got an opinion on Waymo since he's a newly minted Waymo rider.
Yes, I got a post coming out about this in a couple days. But Waymo is transitioning from a test phase to mass production, expanding its ride-hailing footprint while anchoring its future with a high-capacity AV autonomous vehicle focus factory in Arizona. Waymo One now handles 250,000 weekly rides across Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, and Austin, with expansions into Atlanta, Miami, Washington, D.C. planned for 2026. A 239,000 square foot factory in Mesa, Arizona will build thousands of autonomous Jaguars annually in partnership with Magna. This facility will feature a fully automated line and produce vehicles with Waymo's latest 6th-gen driver tech. Ryan McNamara, Waymo's VP of Operations, said the Waymo driver integration plant at Mesa is the epicenter of our future growth plans. And just a note, I'm not sure about Atlanta. I was fine in Phoenix, but Atlanta and a Waymo seems a little weird to me.
It totally does.
They are in LA and San Francisco. That's fair. That's fair.
I guess they've never been to Atlanta.
Look, I'll give you this. It was the most confident I've ever felt in any ride share type
where
vehicle.
you weren't driving. Right.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So I think this is a massive signal and step forward that this is sustainable.
Yep.
Right. And the driver data and the learnings that have been going on, now they're actually building a fixed operation to start pumping these things out. I think this is huge news for Tesla, because Tesla's big push forward is with their robotaxi, with building a vertical platform that manufactures the vehicle, owns the app, owns the fare, right? So with all the Tesla stock stuff going up and down, I think this is great news for Tesla.
Yeah, because it's
when
a
they can't
signal
sell
that
a
says,
Cybertruck to save their life.
This can be repeated. And you know what's wild? Like, you look at one of these Waymos and it's got things all over this car, right? Like built all over it, and Tesla's like, no, we're just gonna come out with a regular looking thing, you know. So it'll be
and that's the debate too, right? Like that Mark
Yeah.
Roper video lately talking about like what's better, all the sensors or line of sight only, you know, and he had the comparison. But I mean, I think they're pretty good in Phoenix. A lot of visibility, not a lot of visibility issues in Phoenix.
It was fine. It was great.
It is good. Listen, go to ASOTUcon.com. We really hope you can join us in a week from today. We'll do whatever we can to help get you there. In the meantime, take care of one another, go serve some people, pay attention, sell some cars. We will see you here tomorrow morning.